Welcome back. Let's begin by taking a look at Nigeria's insecurity woes with news that the kidnapped students of Kaduna State College of Education, KSCOE Gidan Waya, have regained their freedom from the hands of their kidnappers. 4 students of Kaduna State College of Education, Gidan Waya, Racheal Edwin, Esther Ishaya, Promise Tanimu, and Beauty Luka were reportedly abducted in Mile 1 area of Gidan Waya access on Monday evening.
And in the southeast, a member of the Anambra State House of Assembly representing Aguata II, Okechukwu, was beheaded over the weekend. The deceased lawmaker who represented the constituency of the state governor, Chukwuma Soludo, in the State House of Assembly was kidnapped last week. Meanwhile, over the weekend, former Senate President Bukola blamed the dwindling security of Nigeria, which has led to the wanton destruction of lives and property, to leadership failure.
Now joining us this morning to look at the increase in insecurity as elections draw closer in a country of over 206 million people is security expert Dennis Amachree. Thank you very much for joining us, Dennis.
Good morning.
Good morning. Now, Dennis, there seems to be an increase in insecurity levels, I beg your pardon, since the last time you spoke here. I mean, you were here 7 months ago, but between 7 months ago and now, there's been a massive increase in the cases of insecurity. What can you say that the present security agencies aren't doing right?
Well, thank you for having me. You see, this trend has been predicted long time, in fact, 4 years ago. Any year preceding the election is always, having an increase, of insecurity. A lot of things will be happening. In fact, some of them from prediction might not even happen, because the fears are palpable, where some companies will be sending their non-essential staffs out of the country. But as we proceed towards the election itself, we'll see a spike of insecurity because of the fundamental issues that face the country. Because everybody believes that our democracy is actually dependent on the elections. And for this particular election, the predictions are not very good, because a lot of people are looking at it in a way as if it's going to be an existential problem for the whole country. So, we are not very, very unfamiliar with this spike, but it will plateau out as we approach the election month.
Okay, well, it might also be very important to understand the little details here and there, that cause the spike, because, some of these insecurity challenges may not necessarily be because they're trying to prevent the elections. It might be people just taking advantage of the situation. But, let's look at the leadership aspect. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo says Nigeria's inability to meet its security challenges was a choice by the country's leaders and not by God's design. Do you agree with that?
Of course. Any ship that, sails out to sea must have a captain. And then besides the captain, there are also other sub-captains. Let me put it that way. So in a country like Nigeria, we have the president. And then, of course, we have other governors, local government chairmen that, are supposed to provide leadership. And we look at situations like this and we say, who dropped the ball? If there is cases of insurgency, the military is fighting it for more than 10 years, of course. And then, of course, you have other banditry and stuff like that. The governors are supposed to fight that. So who is dropping the ball? Why is it spiking? Why are we having these problems? Because apparently, most people, in fact, including the citizenry, whereby everybody is supposed to be a partaker in this insurgency, or should I say, the civil disturbance that we are having. But most of the time, the police is underfunded and understaffed. The military is spread all over the country so that they cannot even reach everywhere. And then, of course, we have ungoverned spaces that occur in the country. And then the citizenry, where we see it as a military thing, this is police, this is security forces, and then we will just sit on the fence and watch, and then be counting 2-1, 2-2, 3-1, like that. So that's something that we all have to think about.
All right, Dennis, according to a recent report by the Commissioner of Internal Security and Home Affairs in Kaduna State, there were reports that between January and March, about 360 people have been killed and 1,389 people have been kidnapped by terrorist groups. You know, we all know that we've been battling insurgency for 10 years. But recently, former President Olusegun Obasanjo had said that it could take just 2 years to conquer insecurity in Nigeria with good leadership making tough decisions. Do you agree with this?
He's very correct. He's very, very correct. You know, like we always say, if there is no political will, nothing will happen. Because everything, even the military will move from political will. The DSS, police, all these agencies can do their best with political will backing them. You know, so for a person like President Obasanjo, who has led this country more than anybody else, and of course have a lot of experience about civil war that we've gone through, when he tells or speaks something, I think Nigerians should listen. Because if there is political will, look at what is happening in Kaduna. You know, if we face it squarely, we can surmount that problem. Even the governor himself, you know, as he mismanaged it, and then of course he's trying to correct it now, whereby the bandits were being paid money, and then now he has decided not to pay them again, because when they collect the money, they go and buy more arms and come and attack, you know, the schools and everything. And then of course the root causes of why those bandits are there, Governor Rufai is very much aware. And we believe that if he really wants to get it done, he's not the commander-in-chief, but he can cooperate with the security agencies, the commander-in-chief, and the military to make sure that these people are out of his state.
Well, you know, the seeming lack of cooperation, continues to lead to loss of lives and property, and in the most gruesome way. I'm sure you also heard what happened in the southeast over the weekend, the beheading of a lawmaker over the weekend, which is really, really heartbreaking. And in the last few hours, I've also gotten to see other video clips of people who also lost their lives over the weekend to the hands of these gunmen. What would you say security operatives can do? Because you're a former, director at the DSS. What would you advise security operatives across Nigeria to somehow, some way, get into action doing in order to stop these things from reoccurring?
I think the situation in the southeast is very, very disheartening, where first of all we had police posts being bombed, the prison yards are being opened up, and the prisoners are escaping. Then they went further to start killing soldiers. A soldier and his fiancée, both soldiers, were beheaded gruesomely. And in fact, they are lucky because, during President Obasanjo's time, what happened in Zakibiam and what happened in Idu. So these are things that we should be grateful to God for, because what is happening there is a very gruesome thing. Although the military has gone in there and tried to arrest some people, and then of course recover the bodies of the dead people. And you see that thing that is going on there with, look at what happened to the legislator from Anambra State. And I don't see, it does not make any sense where people will go kidnap somebody and then of course behead them. And of course, what are they trying to prove? What are they really trying to prove? They are trying to make the country ungovernable or create terror. And I think if the military starts now, people will be shouting about human rights, abuse and stuff like that. But what is happening right now is total human rights abuse by unknown gunmen or whoever they are. But I think the security agencies are working seriously with it, because I know that a lot of intelligence have come out, even, of course, leading to the recovery of the bodies in those areas.
All right, thank you very much, Dennis Amachree, for joining us to analyze what the security or the state of insecurity in the country. Like you said, these things are to be expected before the elections, but we do keep up expectations or keep up hope that everything will even out soon enough.